Classic plane, classic kit. The Heinkel 111 in 1/72 from AIRFIX here on Gary's Stuff. Hi there, I'm Gary, welcome to my channel, welcome back if you've been here before. Today, indeed, I'm looking at the AIRFIX 1/72 scale kit of the Heinkel He111P2. I'll start off by having a brief look at the history of the He111. I'll then have a look at the history of the kit itself and what competition there's been for it in 1/72 scale over the years. And of course, then I'll show you what you get inside the box for your money. Now, all these things come as chapters. You can hop backwards and forwards as your heart desires. Now, if you've got one of these on order or you're thinking of buying one, then this is the video for you. If you've already got one, want to know how to put it together, then look out for the build video, which is coming very soon. Best way to look out for it, of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and you get notified of all my new videos as they turn up. And if you like what you see today, and indeed on any of my videos, please remember, imperial thumbs up on the like button below. Of course, if you'd like to offer a bit more concrete support for the channel, you can do that through Super Thanks. You can do that by becoming a member of the channel, or you can go through any of my affiliate programs online, one of which is a link to the AIRFIX store. If you're thinking of buying one of these, or indeed anything from AIRFIX, and you want to go through the store, click on that link at no extra cost to you whatsoever. AIRFIX will donate some money to this channel, which is very nice of them. So let's crack on and have a look at the history of the Heinkel He111. Conceived as part of Germany's clandestine rearmament in the 1930s, the Heinkel He111 first appeared under the guise of an airliner. It had been developed by Ernst Heinkel with designers Siegfried and Walter Günther as a development of the Heinkel 70 four-seat single-engine passenger plane. Using the same basic elliptical wing design, but enlarged and given two engines, the Heinkel 111 made its first flight in 1935. It was soon celebrated as the world's fastest airliner, although its actual top speed was considerably less than the claimed 250 miles per hour. Interestingly, the space for the bomb bay was designated a four-seat smoking lounge. The first few marks of Heinkel 111 had a conventional stepped cockpit, but in later models this was replaced by the glazed nose, shared between pilot and navigator, and giving the Heinkel 111 its characteristic look. The first compact use of the aircraft was during the Spanish Civil War, where a number of Heinkel 111Es served in the Condor Legion supporting Franco's nationalists. Their most infamous attack was the destruction of the Basque town of Guernica. By the start of World War II, over 700 Heinkel 111s were in service with the Luftwaffe. These saw extensive action during the invasion of France and the Battle of Britain. However, the small number of defensive guns made it vulnerable to organised air defences and modern fighters. The Heinkel 111 served in all theatres of Germany's war, from Norway to the African desert and the snows of the Eastern Front. In addition to its main medium bomber role, Heinkel 111s were used to drop torpedoes, in the later years with sea search radar, and as a glider tug. The most extreme of these was the Heinkel 111Z Zwilling, where two fuselages were joined with a new centre wing section and an extra engine. These were used to haul the enormous Messerschmitt Me-321 Gigant into the air. As the bomber force contracted in the later stages of the war, Heinkel 111s were largely relegated to the transport role. Spain retained many Heinkel 111s after the war, supplementing them with licence-built Casa II 111s. With a lack of spares for their German engines, they were converted to be powered by the British Rolls-Royce Merlin. The type served well into the 1960s and were popular as doubles for the original Heinkel 111 in films such as 1969's Battle of Britain. 5 original German-built aircraft are still preserved on display, including one in the RAF Museum at Hendon, near London, and the aircraft depicted on the box of this kit, which is preserved in Gardermoen, Norway. Because of this type's enormous popularity over the years, I'll just look at what's been available in 1/72 scale. This particular kit was created as a new tooling by AIRFIX in 2015 and has been released as an H6, including in celebration of the 40th anniversary of Motorhead's album Bomber, until this P2 boxing returned in 2022. AIRFIX first made a Heinkel He111 in 1962 and in 1963 followed it with some classic Roy Cross artwork. The same tooling was used up to and including the 2011 release. This kit was also sold under the MPC brand from 1972 and again in 1975, the second time with bonus crew figures. Frog made an H-Series kit in 1972. This was picked up by Revell in 1977 and last released in 1993. Matchbox released their kit in 3 colours of plastic in 1975, following it up with releases well into the 1990s. Italeri made their first Heinkel He111 in 1976, releasing it as the conventional H6 and as the twin fuselage HE111Z in the same year. These were later marketed by Testors from 1979, and the H6 was sold by Zvezda from 2004. The H6 remains in the Italeri line, last released in 2020. Hasegawa made their tooling of the Heinkel He111 in 2004 and released a further 13 more versions up to 2017. This tooling was picked up on by Revell in 2005 and by Hobby 2000 in 2021. The Hasegawa kit even surfaced as a Heinkel HE111Z Zwilling twin fuselage aircraft with guided bombs. Some very evocative box art of Heinkel He111 being attacked by Royal Navy, or they say here, skewers, Fleet Air Arm skewers, during the Second World War, sometime over Norway, probably 801 or 803 Squadron. Anyway, let's have a look inside the box. Now, I have bought myself a mask for this because there's a lot of glass on here and I'm not up to painting it by hand or making my own masks so much. So, I've got a masking set through the aftermarket. Inside, we have the usual big plastic bag full of all the parts. We'll go through those in a minute. We have here the instruction sheet, which is folded in half. And I'm assuming inside the instruction sheet somewhere, yep, here we are, we have the decal sheet, or decal sheet, transfers, call them what you will, they are all there as well. Let's have a look at all these bits and pieces individually. Frame A comprises the wings and tailplane areas. These look like the tailplanes, that looks like the rudder, and the main wheels as well. Frame B is the fuselage, so fuselage halves here and interior parts as well. Frame C, and we have the bottom midsection where the bomb bay doors are. That could be the rudder, or that could be elevators. Those are elevators, ailerons, doors, and so on. Maybe those are flaps. Frame D, I'm tempted to say everything else, but it's not quite. There's undercarriage parts here. Notice the tailwheel can be up or down as well. Various doors, the engine components, machine guns, propellers and 3 crew members, which is kind of cool. Frame E, so the engine nacelles, spinners, engine exhausts and so on. And finally frame G, all of the clear parts. There's a lot of them, as I've said before, so that is why I've got a masking set. If we take a close look at the plastic, it's okay, it's not bad, it's not brilliant. The panel lines are there, they're quite deep, which will make it easier to bring them out with some panel wash later, but there's no real, not masses of rivet detail. For example, there's like a few rivets along this fairing here, but generally speaking there's none. It's okay, it looks alright, it's not pin sharp, it's not the best, I would say. If we look at these instruments, for example, they're okay, they're a little soft perhaps. I don't know whether that's, I presume that must be the mould rather than the plastic. I don't think these are undershot, I think these are shot correctly. It's just they look a little bit, I don't know, a little bit soft. But I've noticed that of tooling of a certain age is that, you know, they were quite brutal with the skin detail. It was quite sort of heavy, but not massively detailed. And that could be down to the formulation of the plastic they were using. Likewise on the wings, these days all of these panels will probably come with either a ring of riveting or some sort of thing to show that they got pulled over. They wouldn't just be panel lines. The wings, I mean, I could go over them with a riveting tool, but you know what, I'm not going to. They're okay, it's also going to be quite dark, so it's not going to show up terribly well. The wheels are, again, they're okay. They're not brilliant, they're okay. And the tail again. Quite deep, quite strong panel lines, but with little other detail. On the inside, on the larger parts, if you have a look at the plastic itself, you can't see any real flow marks. There's a bit of a flow mark there, but most of it's very good. The thing I really don't like is sprue feeders coming in on the leading edge of something. I really wish that could be hidden away. But there we go. Other than that, these look fine. The crew figures, again, not desperately sharp, not super crisp. I mean, this mould has been around a while, so it's not surprising if it's losing a little bit of its cutting edge, as it were. Have a look at the undercarriage here. Starting to see little hints of flash here and there. But, you know, it's alright. There's nothing major, there's nothing terrible about it. Decals, if you will, very much up to the common way of doing things at AIRFIX these days. All the common markings and stencils and stuff like that, instrument panels and everything else in one block, and then 2 separate blocks for the 2 aircraft that are represented here. Markings, of course, are by Cartograph, and they are very crisp, very clean, very good colour and excellent registration, as always. AIRFIX did a good day's work when they signed these guys up. The instruction sheet, very much as usual with AIRFIX. Here's various languages, a brief history of the Heinkel He111 and some basic specifications. Some assembly instructions in here, and then the instructions themselves. Now, one thing I do like is that at each step there's a bit highlighted in red which tells you what you know, the bit that you've just done and where it goes and things like that, which is really nice. So here you're making the bomb bays, you're putting them in, and this piece shows you how the bomb bays are sitting in the bottom of the aircraft, for example. All very nice. It looks, sometimes it looks a bit crowded and a bit crazy, but you know what, the instructions are actually very easy to follow. I like the fact that they're in nice 3D shaded renders as well. It makes it a lot easier to visualize where things go. In the back are the two schemes for this aircraft that are on offer. This one is from Kampfgeschwader 4 that was crashed in Norway. The one on the box art, I presume. And this one here, Kampfgeschwader 55 Greif, based in France in 1940. I am guessing primarily to bomb the UK during the Battle of Britain. So two options. They're very similar colours. It's just the spinners here are yellow. They're not on this, and there's just differences in the actual markings themselves. But generally speaking, the camouflage is essentially the same on both aircraft. And then on the back are the stencils. Thankfully, not too many. There are quite a few, but not hundreds and hundreds of them like there are on modern aircraft. So relatively straightforward to do those. There we go then. It's a relatively new kit. It's pretty nicely put together. Maybe not as sharp looking as some kits have been in the range, but it looks like it should go together quite well. There's a lot of glassware. So if you are going to get one of these, please do remember to look out for a masking set as well, because masking all that glassware yourself is going to be a long old job. So that's it for the moment. Do look out for the build video. Best way to do that, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and you'll be notified of all my videos as they turn up. And of course, if you like anything, please remember Imperial thumbs up on the like button below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.